Here's a super definitive musical instrument tier list, not at all based on personal opinion, so take everything that I say with absolute certainty. Starting off with the middle of the road instrument, we'll go bongos, C tier. Cool instrument, fits in a lot of musical settings, but just by itself, not very interesting at all. Next, let's go S tier instrument, acoustic guitar. I think most people can agree with this. Super versatile, very portable, sounds good on everything. Everyone loves the acoustic guitar, right? Then let's go the complete opposite. I think the worst instrument ever created, the bagpipes, sounds like absolute ass. I can't believe this abomination of an instrument exists. I'm sorry, I'm not one to shit on instruments, but this right here, I don't even consider it an instrument. Saxophone. We'll go A tier, not quite S tier. The best sounding woodwind for sure. I think most people think this is a brass instrument. I did for a while as well, but it's actually a woodwind, and I think it's the best one. Let's go harpsichord. E tier. Honestly, like one of the worst instruments as well. No one really plays this nowadays. It's not the 1700s anymore. And yeah, no musical context for this. Just doesn't sound very good. Not very interesting. Flute. We'll go like low B tier. It's all right. Nothing special about it. Let's go violin. This might be controversial, but I will put it in B tier. I know most people will put this in A or S. I think it's a little annoying. I'm just not very keen on like higher pitched instruments. It is beautiful, but not always. Now, if we're talking viola, oh, I'm sorry. This is actually opposite. I'm sorry. Violin in B tier, viola A tier. I think it's slightly better than the violin. It's got a more rounder, richer tone, and it kind of sits in between the cello and the violin. I think it's super underrated and much better than the violin. Trumpet, C tier. Again, it's very brash, loud, and kind of annoying, especially if you're like right near it. Yeah, and it doesn't sound great as a solo instrument, so we'll put it there. However, if we go flugelhorn, super underrated. Again, kind of same thing as viola and violin. Slightly richer, rounder tone, not as brash, not as loud, and it's a little bit mellower. I think it's way underrated and much better than the trumpet. Synthesizer, A tier. One of the best instruments, super versatile, many different sounds, fits in many different musical contexts. Yeah, I might put this over the violin. I'm sorry. All right, let's throw a curveball in here. Shamisen. For those of you who don't know, this is a traditional Japanese instrument. It's pretty dope. I've seen some great shamisen players, but again, musical context, not very many. However, we'll still put it in B tier. I think it's a pretty dope instrument. Drum set. I want to put this in S, but just for the portability of it, I might have to leave it in A tier, but you can't deny the versatility and the importance of it in, modern music. Pretty much every genre utilizes the drum kit. However, if we go bass guitar, S tier. I'm sorry. The most fundamental instrument in most music. If you don't like bass, you're probably just not listening for the bass, or you're not listening to the right bass players. So go listen to some great bass players and come back to me. S tier, easily. Mandolin, C tier. It's all right. Again, it's very kind of specific to like bluegrass or like folk music. Not very many musical contexts for it. And then, you have people like Chris Thiele, which makes this instrument sound much better than it is, but in general, average instrument. Recorder, E tier. Kids instrument, not very great. Kazoo, F tier, terrible. Not very many uses for it at all. Electric guitar, S tier. Sorry, it's gotta be. And let's go ahead and finish off the S tier. Piano, absolutely S tier. You could say portability kind of sucks, and yes, it does. However, this is probably the most recognizable instrument, the most adaptable instrument, most versatile, sounds absolutely phenomenal. So, it's S tier. Let's throw another curveball in here. Tablas. Tablas are B tier. B tier. I think I love that bubbly kind of like crescendo sound that it provides, and the Indian tabla players are just phenomenal, out of this world. But again, the musical context is very limited, I think. Marimba, I'm just gonna put all the like xylophone, vibraphone family in here. I think the marimba is the best sounding one, but we'll just lump them all together, put it in B tier. Again, portability kind of sucks. It's a massive instrument and very limited in the musical situations, but I think it's a beautiful instrument. Harp, A tier. I want to put it in S tier, but again, portability and musical context matters. Harmonica, C tier. Decent. It's all right. French horn, D tier. Not a great solo instrument, really only great in a orchestral setting. And we'll just go ahead and put in all like the orchestra instruments that don't sound good alone by themselves. Sousaphone, I think this is called. Tuba, D tier. Trombone, we could go low C tier. There are some phenomenal trombone players, but overall, pretty boring instrument, lackluster, not very exciting. Let's throw another curveball, guzheng. This is a traditional Chinese instrument, I believe, and it's phenomenal. It's gonna go right in here on the B tier. Sitar, A tier, I'm sorry. I love the meditative kind of resonant sound that this provides. You could argue the musical context isn't very, it's not varied at all, but I think it sounds absolutely amazing. Cello, A tier, easy. The best out of the violin family. And then we'll go ahead and do the double bass. I'll put that in B tier, above the violin. Sorry. Ukulele, C tier. Oh, that's an accordion. We'll just go ahead and do accordion is E tier. Again, kind of an annoying instrument. You got killer players. There's that guy that played Vivaldi like incredibly well on the accordion, which is spectacular, but very few and far in between. Accordion, D tier. Ukulele, or E tier, I'm sorry. Ukulele, D tier. C tier. It's all right. Nothing, spectacular. It's a fun instrument, but kind of boring after a while. Organ, we'll go A tier. Organ, A tier. Banjo, D tier. Again, limited to mostly country and bluegrass, and it gets annoying as well after a while. Let's see, we only got a couple more here. Classical guitar, I'm going to put it in A tier. And this thing, ocarina, I think it is, E tier, pretty shitty. And then we've got like a little, all the woodwind stuff. Piccolo, D tier, kind of annoying. Oboe, maybe slightly higher, C tier. Clarinet, I actually played, pretty boring as well. We'll put it high D tier. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, we got pipe organ here. Pipe organ. Oh, I'm sorry. This is not a piccolo. This is the piccolo. And then the pipe organ, we could put it in B tier. Again, no portability and musical setting, kind of, limited there. But yeah, all the other instruments I don't think deserve to be on the list, or they're just different iterations of the instruments that are already up here. So let me know what you guys think. If you don't agree with it, your opinion's wrong, I'm sorry, and this is right. So let's go.